How's it going? Good morning, Voz. Good morning, Growly. Lovely to see you both. Let's get the chat open on my tablet so that I can see you guys better. That hasn't refreshed from yesterday. Close the app, do it again. That looks more like it. There we go. Mr. Sheepy, yes. Good morning. I have got a cup of tea, and I have put some honey in it. Because my throat hurts this morning. That's that D&D excitement for you. It's too hot to drink at the moment. I'm gonna put it over on the other desk, away from the craft project. Alright, I'm gonna try sitting in this chair without the pillow today. I only sat on it for a couple of hours yesterday, and it's already kind of completely deflated it. So I don't want to ruin it anymore, because I like this pillow a lot. The chair does have its own padding, it's just not the best. Oh right, hair. I always... morning streams. Tie my hair up so that it doesn't get in the way. Ah! No. Right. Let's get our stuff out. Here's our guide. And some of the colours that we're going to need. I think we're genuinely not going to need purple today. Three greys, two blue, and a pink. I think that's everything. Where's the hook gone? There it is. Hook. Yeah, I'm lower in the chair. Tell you what, instead of a cushion, what if I sat on like my dressing? My dressing gown is very comfy, so if I folded it up, that would probably give me a bit of elevation. I'm not short, I swear. I am a normal-sized person. I don't know what the metric is for a normal-sized person. But out of everybody I know, I am distinctly average. Pencil. Can I drink this shit? My throat hurts. I need to stop shouting. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there we go. That gives me a bit more height. Tuck the chair in. Right, we're on row 30. You can remember that much. Two pinks to start us off with. Man, last night was fun. I know why my throat hurts. It's not hard. It's not even like I was shouting a lot or anything during D&D. But after D&D, we hyper-focused hard. We went off for like an hour talking about Hazbin Hotel. And I think that is what has wrecked my throat this morning. So, who knows, we may potentially have longer areas of silence. I say. You know I can't resist talking to you guys. Let's tighten my watch again. My watch is an elastic strap, and I swear it loosens over time, and occasionally I have to retighten it. Okay. Gonna be in the next segment. Maybe I should whisper more. I project my voice a lot generally. I'm a loud person. I don't know if you know this. My natural speaking voice is loud. I've been told this since I was a child, because as you can imagine, adults are always telling loud children that they need to be quiet. Over ever so slightly just because I'm gonna nudge it. It's 50-50 if we're gonna have a D&D session tonight, the one I don't stream. If we don't, I know what jobs I can do, because God has cursed me for my hubris and my work is never finished. I haven't sat down and looked at new mods for Lethal Company this week. T&E... Not get the white out? I thought something was missing, and I was like, no, that's all of them. It's fucking white. I'm only doing a bloody white tiger. I'm gonna actually put a note on the screen to be like, my throat hurts, in case people wonder why I'm not talking. Because that's the main reason. When you're streaming, you feel like you're obligated to talk all the time, otherwise you're not interesting. I worry when I have long periods of silence I don't know how to break them all the time. New text. In black. Feels less visible. While I'm over at my computer, let's drink some tea. I don't know if this is a spicy symptom or not. When I'm pleased with something, I'll keep looking. Or is that just a normal thing that normal people do? Of when you're happy with something. Like I keep like how I keep watching the clip of Spook from Lethal Company is an example, and I keep opening the sketch for the next emote that I'm working on. Like, I don't have time to work on it, but I'll keep opening it to glance at it and be like, hee. I'm like, this is a problem. In that you spend your whole life doing stuff, and then when you start this like journey of discovering that you might be a bit spicy, you start questioning. It's like, is this a normal thing to do, or is this a spicy thing to do? I don't know. Enjoying the tea. A Gorgeist. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Alright, back over here again. This does not want to stay where I want it. You off to work again, Vaz? Getting ready for work. Gee.
To my dearest sister/wife Elizabeth, I am absolutely sick with grief at the news of Mother's death. I have buried myself in my studies, and I pray that I shall find a breakthrough before death finds me. May this loneliness end soon. Yours truly and humbly, Victor Frankenstein.
Eating and leaving at 10. Ah. Half an hour then.
How I hate to spend the evening on my own. Blowing outside my window as I look around the room, and it makes me so depressed to see the gloom.
I know I said I wanted to try and get the video up in January. Guess that didn't happen. It was probably a bit stupid for me to say that, considering the way my schedule falls, of like, oh, well, I started editing it on Monday, Tuesday was a full day, Wednesday is the fullest day, and now it's February. So, it wasn't going to happen, was it? Bit of a white fibre on that. I posed a question to the Discord and I only had Das answer. So I would appreciate some feedback from people if you wouldn't mind. Give me a man after midnight. Won't somebody help me come and dig up the rain? ABBA, love it. An ABBA cover. That is also a Halloween song. This one's about Frankenstein. But also I love ABBA. I can't play actual ABBA on stream, I'd get copyright claimed. Good morning, Cookie. How are you feeling? Are you feeling any better today? Oh, sorry to hear that. As you can see from the note on screen, I'm also not feeling great. My throat hurts. I went too hard in D&D. I'll be fine given time. Yeah. Bed rest, water, and chicken soup. Wait, no, not that kind of chicken soup. I have tea with honey in to soothe sore throats. Is there more than one kind? There is if you have an Avali for a persona, which Cookie does. That was a furry joke. I apologise, Growlith. That's cool, Vor. Cookie, no! No, bad. Yes. There's a species called an Avali, and they are bird-like in nature, so a lot of people call them chickens. Because they just do. They just do. Welcome to the furry community. Don't look for logic here. You won't find it. Avali soup. Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets, chicken nuggets. Don't eat Avalis. They taste very bad. Sorry for loud gulping noises and trying to get the honey in the tea to actually, like, touch the sides of my throat. I have that mug too. Oh, neat! This was a present from a friend of mine. I don't want to tilt it too much because I definitely don't want to spill tea on the rug. This was a birthday gift. It's got matching coasters. She got me like a set box. It's got matching coasters. And a glass as well. It was a mug and glass combo. If taste is a thing, try tasting sulfuric acid and ammonia, not to mention nitric acid. Yeah. It's quite sour. Yeah, I imagine it would be. And a pretty box. Yes, I have the box as well. It's in the drawer over there. I keep Pokemon cards in it, unsurprisingly. But yeah, that's a random bit of lore for you. Hello, today we're giving you furry lore you didn't ask for. Avalis are an alien furry species that are quite popular. They are avian-like and are often referred to as chickens. However, they are sulfur-based in their anatomy, so do not eat them. You will probably die. They also smell. Uh-oh, stinky. Smelly bird. You stink. My blood can kill. Yeah, you stinky. Do not eat. Do not. Do not the Avali. Space chickens. I wonder what Bard will have to say about Avalis in their series that they're doing. I feel like it's going to get mentioned eventually. They're a reasonably popular species. One drop of my blood can dissolve a dragon, don't ask me how I know. Vaz. This is the thing, I can never be too worried about Blue being too extra just because she's a wolf with wings, because things like the Avali exist and are just accepted. It's like, yeah, that's fine. A blue wolf with wings is very mid. It's basic. It's basic. I do have my own personal lore. Oh my god. Nice one, Cookie. You flagged the auto mod because it flagged bite me as a term. Auto mod is sensitive. Bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you. That's very funny to me. Look. My auto mod settings are kind of set to high because I would rather be safe. That's on me. But it's fine. I can automatically override it, and you don't get penalised for it. You're fine. I have a lot of backstory and lore about my Avali. Yeah! Cookie, do you know what Toy House is? The website. It's like a, it's like a character, like, I don't know, like not documentation, I can't think of the word. It's a site, it's a character profile site. That's voice, you are protected. It's like a character catalog kind of site. You can make profiles for your OCs and stuff, and you can fill them in how you want, basically. Yeah, I'll show you. You have to send me a link after. Here's the thing, it's in closed beta, but I'm in it, so I can send you a referral link and you let me bring it up. I try to get as many people into Toy House as I can because I have links for days. This is Toy House. My feed. I follow Tokyo. Here's my account. Profile. You can edit it. Mine's very basic. Random featured character. His OCs is Blue. Blue's profile. Here's a little description of her. Here's the gallery. I haven't got any recent pictures of the one. His artwork that I did. You. It's credited to me because I made it. The artwork, which is credited to this artist who made it, and so on and so forth. Random featured character gets put on the front. Unsurprisingly, a lot of mine are D&D characters. Look at all my D&D characters, they don't even all have pictures. This isn't even all of them. This is Kika. This is who I was playing in D&D last night. And here's her profile and her description that I wrote out and some pictures and stuff. But you can cut these pages are CSS enabled, so you can see Neo has like set theirs out like this. So they've like put in all of these little boxes and things. If you know how to code CS, you can make them look really like cool and stuff. And then you've got the galleries down here. Let's pick a random one. Nope, that page is in development. Okay. That's just a gallery. But what I like as well about this is if I go to Dungeons and Dragons, if I go to Kirok, here's Kirok's gallery. I haven't filled in Kirok's bio. You've got links here. And if I click that, you can see how Kirok is related to other characters that are on this website. So here's Kirok's relationship to Tian, and here's Kirok's relationship to Glory, which is Curl's character, and here's Kirok's relationship to Kika. I haven't filled this in either. So if I click over here on Glory, Glory is Curl's character. This is Curl's profile. She hasn't really filled it in as much as mine. Here's all of Curl's characters. Here's Iffy. And all this wall of text that she wrote for her character Iffy. There's the pictures. If I go to link, she's linked to my character. My character. Which is neat. Yeah, if you're good at CS, you can code this bit to be whatever you want. But I just did this. I just did heading, fill it in, heading, fill it in, heading, fill it in. You'll just be met with a. You'll just be given a blank page, basically. Whose page is going to be blank? Scribble? Is Scribble's page blank? Oh no, Scribble's page isn't blank. Who's got a blank page? Who haven't I filled in? Skymirror? No, Skymirror. I mean, Skymirror's is fairly blank. Fern, sorry, Blades is blank, so there's your blank page. It's been a while. I've been doing C++, C#, and Python. Yeah, as I say, you don't have to. But you get given a blank page, manage character, edit, and it's just a box. So I just typed it out and was just like, you know, blah 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 space, blah 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 space, and then it was like, you know, put that in bold so it's a heading, blah blah blah, and that was just I just did it really basic. Sort it to folders. You can make them private if you want. You can tag them so that people can search for them and things like that. Fields. This is the thing at the top. You add a field, name, blah 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 blah. I think it's a great idea because if you, for example, want to commission someone, you can just send them a Toy House page. You can be like, here's all the information about them, and here's all my references for them. think that's pretty neat. So yeah. And settings. Yeah, it's currently in... Hey Galaxia! It's currently private. I have 4 invite codes. I can just invite people. You can see I've invited people here. I can't get rid of these fast enough. I often forget this website exists, and then we have conversations like this about OCs, and I'm like, you know what would be useful? If you had a toy house, and then you could just write it all out, and you can send it to people, and you can be like, hey, do you want to read about my OC? There they are. Here's my picture gallery of them. Ain't they cute? That's Toy House. Right, let me go over here. Hello again, I'm back. And I'll generate a code for you. I should remember Toy House. Yeah, I go through periods of forgetting it. And then I'll go through a period of, like, hyper-focusing again, and I'll be like, fill in the toy house, fill in the toy house, fill in the toy house, and then I'll forget it. Generate code. Let's copy that for you. And I'll send that over to you, Cookie. I'm gonna use the channel that we have in my Discord, because we still have that. Yeah. There's a sign-up code for you. Right, now that I've thoroughly shredded my voice by hyper-focusing on that, let's go back to the rug. I've drank all of my tea. Ah. You want to try it as well, Voz? Because I can send you a code as well. I appreciate that you're on your way to work. Cool. Remind me in a bit, because I'm back here now. Remind me in a bit and I'll send you one. I might rewrite Blue's lore a little bit. Blue had lore that was based on an old RP server that I was on. I think maybe that's not relevant anymore. It's been several years. I think things have changed slightly. I will never remember to write lore for 1A. We operate silly vibes and other people's memory. Yep. Basically. That's the thing, when I first started playing as Blue, a lot of it was being made up on the spot. In the world I was playing her in, it was I've told this story loads of times. It was a Minecraft server, so a lot of the lore was being dictated by the, like, capabilities of the Minecraft server. Tiger process, yay! Username is taken. Aww. Sorry, Cookie. Boo! So, the quote-unquote lore, I made it part of the story just because I thought it was good for the drama, and also because we had just started playing a Minecraft server. It was modded, so eventually people would be able to get flying unlocked in terms of, like, a jetpack or whatever. But at the start we didn't, so to go along with that, I actually made it that Blue couldn't fly, even though she had wings. And I don't know if I want to keep that anymore, because I like drawing Blue flying. I just added 1991 at the end. Fair. Need 2 Ys. Yeah, like, that bit especially, I don't know if that really sticks anymore. But yeah, that was partly why of, like, you know, we've landed in a server, I'm playing a character who has wings, but I can't fly. So I'm gonna make it part of the story that, like, her wing is, like, kind of her wings are, like, semi-broken. Well, not like her wings. I believe the lore was her back muscles had been damaged in a, you know, tragic backstory that didn't get fully explored. You know, it was like a big emotional moment. I remember on the server of, like, Blue had been there for several months at this point, and it had never come up. And then it was like someone got hurt or something, and Blue was with them. It was like there were I can't remember who it was. There were 2 people, and Blue was also there as a 3rd person. And someone got hurt, so the 2nd person was like, "You need to go get help," and was like, "I can't. I don't know where to go, and we're lost." And they were like, just fly up and go. And it was like, I don't. And they were like, "Just fly. What's the matter?" And that's when she was like, "I can't fly. I can't fly. I've never been able to fly." It was really sad. And then there was this whole sub-story about how they were going to try to make it so she could fly again, because we were playing on, like, you know, it was Minecraft. It was like, well, it was modded Minecraft, so there's, like, science and technology, so quite a few of the characters were actually playing, like, scientists and stuff. So a couple of them were trying to be like, if, you know, we could do like, you know, exercises to try and fix the tissue that's damaged, and, you know, physiotherapy, basically. And things like that. They were, like, trying to help her to learn how to fly again, which was very sweet. It was sweet and sad, because as with a lot of things, you know, it was a fairly serious server. So you know, so it wasn't just I can fly now. There was a lot of, like, doing RPs of, like, you know, good days and bad days. Of bad days when nothing works and you end up, you know, just crying, and it was just like it was really sweet. It was really sweet in a caring way of, like, I found it was peak found family as well, is the thing. It's peak found family of, like, hello, I'm a strange winged wolf creature. I'm literally not from this world, because dimensional travel was a canon thing in that game. I'm literally not from this universe, and you're a group of weird people that I don't know who you are, and you all have gone. Protect. It was very sweet. And I'm still friends with 2 of them today. In the form of Curls and Kay. There were two people who played on that game with us. We have a bond. I went off for a minute there. We gain the capacity for flight because that's cool and excellent. I can't fly because I was raised by foxes and foxes can't fly. That makes sense. These people just saw a skywolf and went, pet, yep, basically. Basically. I need you to know that, because again, it was based on a Minecraft server. Again, I've told this story so many times. It was based on a Minecraft server. And it was an RP server, and it was invite only. And they had seasons, essentially, which was, because this was literally going over the course of years, a season would be like a mod pack. So they would load a mod pack onto the server, and everybody would play through it, and they'd do all their role plays and stuff. And when people started to kind of get a little bit bored of the mod pack and they'd done everything, they would like wrap up the story, have an semi-apocalyptic event, and restart the server with a new mod pack, and everyone could play through again. And that was the life of the server. So both me and Kay, this is funny, both me and Kay were let in at the start of a new arc. Because it was on a rotation thing of like, if people aren't online for a while, they get messaged and they're like, do you still want to play? And if they say no, it's like, cool, we're going to give you a slot to somebody else. So me and Kay were both let in at the same time. Return to the server with the whole Discord server. It's defunct. It's long gone. It's long defunct. Does not exist anymore. Cool premise, though. It was a very cool premise. That's why we were hooked by it. Like, and the thing was, is that this was before, like, the whole... This is how long ago it was. This was before the whole sort of major... you know, like, YouTube SMP thing. This was kind of like in the early days of YouTube, of like, you know, playing video games on YouTube, like Minecraft was kind of just starting. So, like, we kind of weren't into doing that kind of thing, because this was just a thing we were doing with friends. But, a lot of the people on the server were artists. And they would post artwork of their characters and their story, and of their stories that they were acting out. Some people would post, chat logs of the... They had a mod on the server which would log the chat, and they would copy it, put it in a Word document, remove all the timestamps, this is the work that people went into, and then post them as essentially like a script, and you could read them. And that was how we, like me and Kay, found out about the server. Like, it had a small, very small, it was very little, it had a very small following of people who followed the story of the server. Approaching work, have a nice streaming day, everyone. Bye, Vaz! I hope your day goes well. And yeah, and they would post out, and they would be like, you know, we have openings available, you know, post your characters and stuff. And me and Kay got invited and got added in. And I made two friends in the form of Kay and Curls, who I am still friends with today. But we were in a team together. Because I feel like this kind of happens naturally on big servers like that, especially if there is some kind of story happening. People formed factions. There were factions, and those factions carried over through each server. Because like the server refresh would be an apocalyptic event, but generally people's characters would survive and they would carry on to the next story. So yeah, there were factions, and there was lore, because again, especially after you've had like 2 or 3 resets, you start to get like lore in mind. So there was world lore and character lore, but it was fairly loosey-goosey. Like, and I, as I often frequently joked, Blue made no sense in that world. So that was why I had to make the whole thing of like, well, she's not from here. Because interdimensional travel is a thing. One of the server resets was everybody being sucked into a dimensional hole. That was one of the resets, is everybody got sucked into an alternate dimension. In fact, that was the one that me and Kay joined into. Everyone got sucked into an alternate dimension, and some of the characters from the previous iteration met other versions of themselves, which was fascinating as well. So you know, fun concept. Because I remember even being like, am I allowed to play Blue? Because Blue is who I want to play, because at the time Blue was like my only character. I was like, am I allowed to play Blue? Because she's like, you know, a furry. And they were like, yeah, that's fine, you can play whatever you want. And I was like, sick. It's not only CSS compatible, it's also HTML compatible. Nice! I actually didn't know that. So yeah. But this was a very ADHD'd. What I was going, now that I've established all of that, what I was going to say was, one of the first things that Blue did, the character, because I didn't know what to do. I was in a brand new server, I knew one person on the server, which was how I got invited in. I knew one person. And when I first logged in, I was very shy. I didn't know who anybody was. And I didn't... I was shy to talk to people. So I followed... I found the person who was the one person I know. But they were like deep in like role play. You know, the server had just been reset, so it was like, you know, dealing with the aftermath of everybody's just woken up and they're in a new world. What are we supposed to do? So I was following them, basically. I didn't know what to do, so I was following them from a distance. But I was really shy. So there was literally like brief moments where I would like peek around trees because I was like, what are they doing? And they were role-playing. I could see them typing and like they were exploring and stuff. And at one point, they even looked over and saw me. And in part of the roleplay, they would go, "What's that in the trees?" And I literally like ran away like a fucking frightened deer. I was literally like, I'm too intimidated to get involved in this. I'm a baby. I'm too intimidated. So I literally just ran off into the trees and it was just like, I think there's some strange creatures in this world that we've never seen before. And I was just sat at my computer screaming. I've been talking so... I literally have got a thing on here that says my throat hurts, and I've talked so much that the music has auto-stopped. So yeah. So I followed them. Everybody sort of started to get established. What most people did was they found test certificate villages and moved in. Is how a lot of people sort of went. And near a test certificate village, I found a cave. And that was what Blue ended up doing. So it ended up being like she's in a strange new planet, world, universe that she doesn't know where she is. She has no friends with her. She can't fly. She's utterly lost. So she just finds a cave, finds somewhere safe, and holes up there. And after a few sort of in-game days, which obviously in Minecraft is maybe like, you know, half an hour or so, it's like 10-15 minutes for a day, I can't remember. One of the people that I had been following had set up a farm with some sheep. So I was like, okay, let's try this. I was like, this was me of like, I need a bed. I'm playing Minecraft. I need a bed. If I die, I'm going to go all the way back to spawn. So I was like, I need a bed. So I went up to their farm and I was like, I'm just gonna, this was so funny because it was like it was literally peak I'm playing an animal, you know? Good morning, Cole. It was peak I'm playing an animal. It was just like, I just need a little bit of wool and maybe some food also wouldn't hurt. So it was literally snuck. You know, I went around the back, I like climbed onto the roof of the barn. I looked over and I was like, okay, there's no one around. And I tried to reach down. I was trying to hit the sheep from the roof of the barn to try and get wool. And I fell off. I fell off the roof, I landed in the sheep pen, and I was like, ah, balls. And I looked around, and the person who owned the sheep pen was right there. So I literally fell into my first RP on the server, so I typed and went, hi, and they were like, those sheep aren't yours, and it was just really nervous, just being like, hello? I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And then like another character comes along from who's like semi-affiliated with the other faction, and she was like, what's going on here? And this person's like, I just found this creature trying to steal my livestock, and I'm there just like, I'm sorry, I didn't have any food, and I've got nowhere to sleep, and I'm really sorry, and I didn't mean, I don't have any money, but I could help, I guess. And this other person was like being the good guy and was like, I'm sure we can sort something out. You can come with me and we'll sort this out. And the other person was like, if you want to pick up strays, that's your problem. And and so the second person led me to where the faction had made a base, which this faction eventually I would learn it was the Castle Crew, which was the faction that Curls was in, and was the faction that Kay also then joined. And they took me to the leader of the faction, which was a person called Knights, who was playing a character that was very, shall we say, stoic. and, you know, very quiet, and also very do not touch me. This is important. I got taken to see this leader, and, you know, it was kind of explained, and it was basically just like, you know, I felt, you know, there was a massive noise, there was this big massive flash of light, and then I was falling, and then I ended up here, and I don't know where I am, and they're like, oh, you fell in a dimensional rift just like we did. That's rough. And they were like, okay, you can stay with us. And because I didn't know what to do, and I was like, Blue's really friendly, and she's, you know, she's a wolf, which is just a big dog. So I was like, okay. I run up and hug them, and I'm like, thank you for helping me. I didn't know this at the time, but everybody in that, like, group was in a Discord call. At the time, it was a TeamSpeak or a Skype call. They were in a call together because the server had, like, just reset. They all knew that this person didn't like to be touched. So when I said I run up and I hug them, apparently everybody in the call went, don't do that. But I then found out later that their one sort of loophole was they like dogs. That they like dogs. So I ran up and I hugged them, and there was just that moment freeze tension of like, someone's touching me, but then it was like, dog, pet dog. Just that awkward, like, okay, you can stay with us, and I had no idea of this at the time. I got told this like a week later, and I was just like, thank you, and then the RP ended, and I was like, I can go live with these people now, I can go make a house, and I can go make a bed, and yay! And that was how that started, which was, it's just very funny to me, and as you can tell by the way that I have you know, recalled it to you, has just been glued in my memory. I just remember that, because it was fun. And I'm going to put the music back on, now that I've finished my story, and actually focus on making the rug, because I haven't done that for the last 10 minutes. And that was the first time I roleplayed as Blue. That was the first time I roleplayed as Blue. I had her as a character, but I hadn't actually, like, RP'd as her before. Okay, so... Okay. H. K. H. H. 2 Ks. And the rest, as they say, is history. So... neither Curls nor Kay were the first people that I met. I don't think I met them for a few days, and yet they're the two that I'm still friends with, which is just really sweet. We ended up becoming the mages. We were the castle mages of the castle crew, and hoo boy did we cause chaos. Especially Kay. Kay's always been an agent of chaos. I am out of sync somewhere. Okay. H. K. H. H. Where am I out of sync? This isn't lining up. I've got 3. K. K. H. K. H. 2 H. No, I'm not out of sync. Ignore me. I've just realised, you know why I just realised why I went off then. Even though I'm here like, my throat hurts and I shouldn't talk. It's because the cup of tea I just made was a caffeinated one, not a decaf one. Oops. Let me finish this row and I'll show you pictures. Because this is the thing, because it was a server full of artists, as I said, people would draw their interactions, and I was no different. I was no different. I drew the stuff that happened. So I'll show you some of them in a bit. I've shown them before. I've shown them on the stream before. but I've still got them saved because I'm like, fun memories. Even though the server's over and, you know, the community fell apart, I still have fond memories. It was fun. I made lasting friendships there. But yeah, so a lot of the quote-unquote lore for Blue was built with that. So, you know, the fact that she couldn't fly was like a mechanical limitation of, we don't have flight on the server, so, you know, and I'm like, okay, I guess she can't fly then. And I don't think that's really relevant anymore. It was almost like having a D&D setting, and like, this, you know, you finish the campaign, and your character has a happy ending, and it's like, well, you still have the character. And there's nothing stopping you from using that character in other stories, technically. It's not even like the campaign, it's like if a campaign just stopped, you know? It's not even that it finished, it's like if a campaign just stopped. You know, the DM's like, I'm too busy, I can't run it anymore, and you don't finish the campaign, and you've just left there. And you've got this character that you've made, and like all specced out, and you know their personality, you know their backstory, and you just have them now, and it's like, nothing's stopping you from using them again. It's like that. HHH. So that was kind of back when Blue was less of a persona and more of an OC of just a character, and it was kind of after that that she then developed into an actual persona of like, she's a character, but she is also me. I got two characters I can do that with, maybe another, but he's kind of head of a secret society now. Oop. Oop. Top secret. Hush, hush. Yeah. Like, I have a D&D character, which is little baby Sarah, who I was playing in a Curse of Strahd game. Yes, you heard that correct. Little baby Sarah in a Curse of Strahd game. You think Kika is the only child? Nope. Sarah was also a child. And the Nemo couldn't run the game anymore. So I just have Sarah as this OC, and I'm like, I don't want to just say that that's the end, and so it's like, I just got her in my back pocket. Favourite faction's not amazing? Make your own weird society. Hell yes. Right. Let me show you. Let me show. Behold my desktop. With a suspicious lack of me. Right, old server stuff. Behold old artwork. Warning for blood, there is a decay. This server is the sole reason that as an artist I am fine with drawing blood. Because this server got grim again. Where's the picture I'm looking? Not that one, that was a different one. Where is it? There you go. This was our first encounter back when I drew in red. You can date artwork by the fact that I draw in red. My first ever RP of, hello, I'm your friend now. It's fun to me looking at this because it's like, you can see that, like, I feel two things. Like, I can feel that looking at this I've gotten better at drawing, but this is still very distinctly my art. Especially I feel like looking at Blue's head, like I feel like I draw heads the same still. But I think my body anatomy is slightly better, but this is still very clearly my art. And then we've got my first ever sort of breath of Blue. very distant in my art. Weirdly enough, I do think I have gotten slightly better at hands. I'm still not great at them. But this still feels very sort of like... I think you can tell I'm using a slightly different shade of blue now, slightly more akin to a sky blue. But even here, you can see that I was using a pale blue. I feel like the general anatomy on my legs kind of is still the same. Kind of like those paws. How I did those paws. Go back to trying to draw them like that. Like the fluffiness. Yeah. Tail, I think, is bigger. Wings are still fucking massive, as they should be. Yeah. It's small, I think it's very small differences in these. I don't know how I feel about that. Very minimal, very small changes. Let's go back. Blue and Kay. That was Kay's character. You can kind of see how I'm still not great at drawing hands. That's the picture. See, I drew a picture of Blue falling into the sheet pen, but I literally like drew it like 5 years later. Of just like, I never drew this scene. Now I want to draw it. First meeting. By the way, I forgot to mention that the other character I met was also a furry. There were 2 other people on the server that had furry characters, which is probably why I was allowed it. You can tell this is a more recent piece because I no longer draw in red. The evolution of hugs. The evolution of hugs. And the evolution of getting slightly better. Who likes hugs? The hugger. There's so many pictures in there. Chaos ensues. Chaos ensues. Yes. Remember I said that they were scientists, some of them, so trying to work out what the hell is going on with Blue. Wolf plus bird plus person? What's the other picture I'm thinking? I brought her a present and she was not happy. I brought you a present. Oh, Blue's a wolf. That's the thing that everybody would forget, and it's one of those things that I would occasionally try to remind people. She was still a wolf. That's the picture I'm looking for. I love this picture. Blue had a nemesis. Blue had a nemesis. She wanted to bite him so bad. Bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you, bite you. I want to bite him so bad. There he is again. I want to bite him so bad. I want to bite him so bad. He was a biologist. Again, scientist. Very curious about animals. Blue did not like him at all. Where's the one with the feather? I'm looking for one specific picture. Ah yes, scientists again. Scientists. Where's the picture with the feather? Aww. This picture makes me sad. This character died. This character died. And in a gruesome way. And Blue wanted to help him, but she couldn't. And the reason she didn't like this guy from the get-go, he immediately appeared and was like, "Hi, I'd like to introduce myself." And Blue was like, "I don't trust you at all." And she didn't realize at the time, she could smell him on him after he had died. She could smell it. She was like, "Why? I don't, what, Why can't I not find that fucking feather? Did I not save it in here? Did I not save that picture in here? It must not be in here. No, it's not there. I'm annoyed I can't find a picture. I'm amused my schedule has become wake up, turn on stream, go back to sleep. Thanks, Cole. Appreciate it. I'm annoyed I can't find a picture. I love this one. It's called Morning Sketch. This was like, this was literally wake up, first thing I did was draw a picture of Blue, and it turned out so cute. It was something that I was always adamant about. It was the fact that her wings were big. Big wings. Because I was like, literally I was like, she doesn't make sense, but she makes sense in and of herself. So I was like, wings need to be big in order to support her in the air, even though she couldn't fly. Aww, Puppy Pile. Puppy Pile. Both of these characters ended up dying. I was the last one alive. Some would say that that was worrying. Yeah, you're the last one alive, and there's a scientist who's very curious about your biological makeup. That's not a good thing, is it? What is that? I'm just looking through this one by one. I'm like, where is that picture if it's not in here? Where did I save it if I didn't save it in here? Oh, this was gonna be Kale! Oh my god, the only picture of potential Kale. Kale was gonna be a dragon. And then we got told that, no, you can't do that, that's not canon. And we were like, boo, Sag. The one time that we got told that's not, no, that's too far. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's just not in here. I'm going to assume that that file is just not in here. I don't see it anywhere. I can't remember what it's called, but I remember the picture. Where is it? Is it just Miss Blue stuff? Surely not. No, it's not here. No, it's not in here. Weird! I've gotten too distracted. This has been a very interesting craft stream. It's very much been an ADHD stream, I feel. Come on. Right. let's get another row done. Right, I'm gonna fold this over. $30. Yeah. Like I said, I have fond memories. I have fond memories of that time. It went a little spicy at the end, which is why it no longer exists, but I had fun. I like to remember it for the good. And the good is that I have two awesome friends who I love very much. That we bonded over... We bonded over the innate desire to, I guess, rage against the machine, I suppose. Stick it to the man. The innate desire to cause chaos against people who tell you you can't do things. Basically, it started to boil down to there were two major factions. People tried to start other factions because there were people who were like, we don't really align with either, but there were two major factions, basically. And after a while, those two major factions kind of boiled down to pro-magic and anti-magic. And we were pro-magic, and the pro-magic was, from the perspective of the anti-magic people, the pro-magic were chaotic and lawless and just going to cause destruction. And from the pro-magic point of view, the anti-magic people were, like, brutalist, controlling, they used slaves, and were just, like, you know... So it led to this dynamic of... we're gonna cause problems on purpose. It was literally the vibe. Like, you don't own us, you can't tell us what to do, we're gonna use magic, and we're gonna blow things up, and it's gonna be cool. And we would cause so much trouble, and we would always end up proving them right, because our plans would backfire, and people would get hurt, and they'd be like, see, this is what happens when you use unregulated, chaotic forces. And we were like, oh, shove it up your arse. It was fun. It was fun. Because the thing is that they were like this this was a thing that like got developed over time. Of like originally the world lore was really vague, and then after a couple of iterations, they were like, we were actually making like lore and stuff. This was after like another dimensional shift. So they were like, oh, we've landed in a world where it's like a parallel dimension kind of thing, where it's like it's the same world, but the society is a bit more established, so it had, it was like an actual government, basically. Adding backstory, I just gotta add it real quick for now, and then I'll be updating it. Yeah, sick. Shimmer's original personality is Kaylin. Yes, I know Kaylin. I forgot so much about my backstory. That's the thing, when you sit down and you start writing it, you're like, oh. Yeah. So when we like landed in this thing, the thing was that you would... I think it was quite fun, because I feel like there's always an assumption of, like, if one side has magic and the other doesn't, then the magic side is the one that's gonna, like, be stronger. And it was not the case. It's like, we had magic, but the other side I would say was the one that was generally on top, because they had supreme technology. They were definitely the masters of science. And, yeah, and they were hyper lawful. And we were not, we were chaotic. Yeah. But it was like really fun. It was really fun. Again, this is you can't apply absolutes to it, because there were loads of people and everyone had their own views, and a lot of people had their own plans as well and their own things that they were doing. But as a generalization, it generally boiled down to chaotic good magic users and lawful evil science users. And it was one of those things where it's like, there's good and evil, but then there's chaos and law, and it's like, well, they're opposites of both sides of the spectrum. And it's like, both sides have major problems. Like, and as I said, like, the mages would get injured and bad things would happen all the time. And it'd be like, see, this is what happens when things are unregulated. It was a fun concept. Bearing in mind as well that this was years ago. I mean, like, probably what? It's been 10 years? Maybe. Maybe closer to 9. Something like that. Like I said, I have fond memories of it. It was a very interesting narrative. That feels like something that if I was heavier into RP that could be played upon. Oh yeah, it was an RP server. That was like the premise of it, of like when you join, it's like this isn't a Minecraft server to play Minecraft. This is a server that we roleplay on. It's like the things that you would build when you would build sets, basically, is what you would build. You would have a character and they would have a home, and you would be like, okay, well, what is this character's home? And then you would expand from there of like, well, if this person lives here, how do they affect the surrounding area? So a lot of the mage areas had loads of, because we had mods like Thorncraft, so loads of the mage areas would have like magical glowing fires around the places and things like that, whereas the tech people would have like industrial lamps and things like that, and everything would be made of iron, like metal hallways and stuff, and the mages would be a lot more sort of fantasy-esque of like, you know, everything's made out of wood, and there's magical plants, and there's like a stone tower where you do all the dangerous stuff that explodes. Shibuya was at least 10 years ago. So it was after Shibuya. It was after that. So I guess maybe it's probably closer to like 8 or 7 years ago then, I guess, if Shibuya is 10. So yeah, it's like you would log on to play Minecraft, but generally you would log on because you had a roleplay that you wanted to do, because people would literally message you on like Skype or whatever, and they'd be like, I want to do a roleplay with you about this, and you'd be like, cool, I'll log on, and you'd log on and you'd play it out. Or you would log on and be like, oh, I'm just building a thing for this. Like for me, it's like you would almost act in character even when you weren't in character. So it was literally a case of, I would literally say, like, Blue isn't a builder, she's an animal, she doesn't know how to build buildings and stuff. So the other people in the faction would build a house for Blue, and I'd be like, well, she just lives in it. But I would, like, do all of the nature, so I would, like, terraform the surrounding land, and I would make big gardens, basically, for people. I'd be like, Blue tends to the flowers and the plants. And I would landscape, essentially, and I'd be like, well, that's what Blue does, so that's what I'm going to do. And, oh my god, I just remembered. What I would do, and I started doing this on other servers that I would play on that weren't roleplay servers, what I would do is I would make light blue carpet, and I would leave it in areas that Blue spent a lot of time in. And when people asked, what the hell is this? I'd be like, she sheds. It's fur. She sheds fur. That's Blue's fur. And that would, like, that would be, like, part of an RP thing, of, like, literally I would leave a piece of blue carpet, like, in a room. And even if I wasn't in the RP, sometimes there was literally a moment where in one of the rooms that Blue had been in, I left a piece of carpet and one of the players saw it, and in the RP they literally went, who's been in here? Where did this come from? And it was like, ooh, blue fur, I wonder who it was. I'm so good at sneaking, guys. I'm so sneaky. No one will ever know I was here. She shed like a bitch. That was a canon thing. You would know when Blue had been in a place. That was the picture I was trying to find. Canonically, she would shed fur, but she would also shed feathers quite a lot. So the picture I was trying to find was of that scientist man finding one of Blue's feathers and being like, this is rather large to belong to a normal bird. And Blue is just, like, slightly off screen and is hiding. That's the picture I was trying to find, but I can't find it. Let's drink some water. I'm doing a lot of talking and my throat still hurts.
Please take a seat.
Don't worry, guys, this isn't the last time you'll hear this story, because I feel like I bring it up every few months as I reminisce, because I'm like, good memories. Oh my god, you got a beautiful mind. Spooks even said, why don't you make an RP server for the community? And I was like, I don't know how well that will go. I don't know. Thanks, Blue, for getting me on there. You're welcome. It's fine. So when I go on, I'll get a little notification to be like, oh, this person used your code, and I'm gonna be like, follow. I can see the same thing. We have a fair amount of RPers. I know. I'll be like, follow back. Yay! You can read all about my multiple D&D characters. I don't see a tree. You and me. Yeah. So I don't check like Toy House like I do like social media like Twitter and stuff. So it'll literally be like I won't use it for 6 months, and I'll log on and I'll have like 6 notifications to be like, these people that you follow updated these characters, and I'll be like ooh, new artwork. It's always art generally that gets updated with the people that I follow. Basically, either they made new art or they got new art commissioned. I'm fairly sure I'm the only one who's not exactly fond of it. Yeah, I'd say that's fairly spot on. I think Spook's probably about 40-60 in favour of mechanics. He's quite technically minded. He doesn't mind a little bit of RP, but he definitely is, like, you know, he's a number cruncher. Yeah. But the rest of us are obviously quite RP heavy. I'm probably 40-60 in favour of RP. Like, I like combat and the numbers as well. No, rolling dice is fun and big number make brain go burr. But I also think that if I played a game that was fully RP, I maybe would disassociate a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, maybe that isn't true. I mean, I guess that server was pretty much fully RP. There weren't really mechanics or anything, so maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would be fine with it. I don't know. The thing is that it was live, but it was in a written format. So like someone would type it was like talking to someone on a chat room, you know? They would type out what they would do, they would type out their speech and what they would do. And then they would wait to see how you would react, basically. And you'd probably have like a couple of minutes to like type out what you want to do, and you'd sit and think and be like, no, type back what you'd want to do. But it was one of those things where if you left it too long and you didn't type something, they would be like, oh, I guess you don't have a response, so I'm going to keep going. So I think towards the end, that was when it sort of became not fully scripted. It was like semi-scripted, some of the stuff, in that you would like talk with the first person beforehand and you would outline like, I want to do this, this, and this. And then you would kind of ad-lib the actual lines. So you would define what you want to do, but you would ad-lib how you said it. I might use it as social media, fair enough. Cookie, do you need Blue Sky as well? I also have Blue Sky codes to give out. You know, Blue Sky Social, the thing that was like a Twitter replacement. Because shit hit the fan on Twitter and a bunch of people were like, we're jumping ship. I'll send you a code. Much like Twitter, I have two Blue Sky accounts. I have one for just me to be a normal person and one that is entirely artwork. So I know that there's a reasonable amount of furry people on there. A lot of furry people did jump ship from Twitter, especially like artists, because obviously Twitter did that whole thing where they were like, if you post stuff on Twitter, we'll use it for AI, and they were like, haha, fuck you, I'm leaving. So if you're looking for a new social media, then Blue Sky would probably be better than using Toy House, because you can't. I don't think you can make like posts and stuff, whereas you can on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is second Twitter. Okay. And I spent like 3 months posting artwork to my Blue Sky so that it became the same as my Twitter, and now the two are finally in sync. And I have no art to post because I'm working on the game all the time. I'm looking for social media without my Stalker X or my Stalker Mom. Oh, Blue Sky then. Blue Sky is a totally new one. It is basically Twitter. It is basically Twitter. Yeah. Blue Sky is another one where I have more invite codes than I know what to do with. It's still invite only, but I have so many invite codes because I have 2 accounts. And both accounts get given codes to give out, and I'm like, I've given them out to all the people that I don't want it. Dang kids use social media. Back in my day, it was the TV. Ugh, yeah. I remember. I remember when MySpace was a new thing. And And everyone thought it was so cool. God, it's so hard to see the lines. Yeah. There's a little bit more to Blue Sky. I think the neat feature that Blue Sky has that Twitter kind of doesn't, I think it tries to, but it doesn't, is that Blue Sky has what's known as custom feeds, which you can probably read up about. I don't use them too much, but I know that for people who do use them, they're pretty useful. And, like, you can have your main feed, but then you can have, like, secondary feeds, so you can essentially have, like, categories for stuff. In a way. It's like following a tag instead of following a person, almost. I did a little typing in Sim back in the day, but I never really got anywhere with it. Oh, on Iron, yeah. Autocorrect, stop fighting me. Never. It will never give in. Never surrender. RPing in aim, yeah. Y, letter Y. Brought to you by the letter Y. Ooh. That one got messed up. Me likes tech stuff, also me fucking computers. No, that's the standard core. Isn't that the joke? People who don't know computers, they're like, oh my god, I've got like a smart fridge, and a smart washing machine, and an Alexa, and a Google Home, and it's like people who are in tech is like, I own a printer, and if it moves funny, I will shoot it. Yeah, I had a person come into my chat and was like, what would you do if you tried to send a document to a printer and it said file format not supported? I was like, I'd probably roll my eyes and start Googling how to fix it. And they'd be like, do you not think it's weird that a printer doesn't want to print something? That's what it does. And I was like, bruh, how old are you? Printers never work. Anybody who has been on this planet long enough knows that printers never work. True, see? See, you both agree with me. We all know that printers never work. That's why I use 3D printing instead. Oh my god. Cookie! Oh my gosh! Look what Voz got me! Buzz sent me my own custom Pokeball. It's got my initials on it. It's 3D. It was 3D printed for him. He get it from me. You were watching. Oh, sorry. My brain. My brain. My bad. Yeah, my dad has a 3D printer. He 3D printed me this box to keep stuff in. My brain went 404. Yes, it does that all the time. And I can't show it to you because it has the camera on it, but you'll notice we have a different camera. Were you here yesterday? I'm sorry. ADHD is a bitch. Were you here yesterday? I have a new camera stand. I have a new camera stand and my dad 3D printed it. Like the printer. Yeah. Yeah, like printers. My brain doesn't work like printers. I did wonder why it was a different angle. Yeah! Is that the camera is currently attached to it, so I can't... Actually, hang on. If I Here we go, breaking everything. If I unscrew this, I'll detach the camera from the stand. Well, here we go, going on the journey. Wow. There's a piece of wood. Over to... stand that my dad 3D printed. So the camera just bolts onto there. There's the bolt that he 3D printed for it. Fits onto the camera. This is a bit of spare wood that he had in his office. And he 3D printed this. This screws up, it screws into parts. You can see how it like screws there. This screws into parts. And there's a platform there, which I have this counterweight on. And there's a bit of string to keep it counterweighted. And he 3D printed that because I was like, the camera setup I'm using at the moment is kind of jank, so he made me a proper one. So now I have an actual top-down view. I'm going to screw this back in. Come on. See, I said this would break everything. There we go, screw that back in. And now we have a proper top-down camera. Yeah. And these are extra screws in case they break or fall apart, and then I asked... He just gave me the screws like that, and I was like, I'm going to lose those, I need a box. So he came back the next day and 3D printed me a box. Yeah. So, within the space of a week, I have, like, quadrupled the amount of 3D printed stuff that is here. We've got a 3D printed box, 3D printed stand, and my 3D printed Pokeball now. Quickball, my beloved! Yeah. Also, this is not relevant to anything, but since we're talking about 3D printed stuff, this is the cube. This just lives on my desk. My dad gave it to me probably, like, 3 years ago when he first got his 3D printer. This is why I say the stuff that I have is quadrupled, because this was just living on my desk. So I had one 3D printed thing, and now I have 4 3D printed things. I'm having a ring 3D printed out of titanium. That is sick. That is so cool. This is the cube. There we go. It is no longer the cube. I thought you had to use resin for 3D printing. You can use resin, you can use metals, you can use what is known as filament. All of this stuff is filament. My dad has a filament 3D printer. You can 3D print with a lot of stuff. Did you know? Did you know? You can 3D print meat. Now I've got to remember how to reassemble this. think it's this way. Come on, return to cube. Have I remembered this? I'm not sure I have. Go like that, and then you put this on top. It's been a long time since I disassembled the cube. I was gonna use this as a D&D prop. It's not what it was made for. My dad just gave it to me, but I was tempted when I played D&D at a table to be like, oh, there's 4 dungeons, and at the end of each dungeon I was gonna physically give them this. I was gonna give them this and be like, that's what you get. And I was not gonna give them any instruction, and then at the end it'd be like, you've got 4 pieces, and I'll be like, I'll let you know. You have all the pieces, and then they would be there just like, where? I was gonna let them solve putting it together. I hadn't fully worked out like what it was gonna do narratively. It was probably gonna be some kind of key of like you need to assemble all the pieces together to make a key. Oop! Haha! Cube. I was tempted to like paint things on the outside so that when it was all assembled it like made an image. That's the cube. That just lives on my desk. For no real reason. That's just the cube. The cube. How do we make Starship turn it into Starship Velociraptor? I actually haven't watched that video, even though you shared it the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, now you say I've heard a filament printer that and the meat thing rings a bell. Yes. I believe they were experimenting with 3D printing organs for organ replacements. You know, with those stem cell things, you know, when they're like set cells that can like be essentially programmed, quote unquote, to do specific jobs. They were like experimenting with 3D printing organs for replacements. At home I have a PLA and ABS printer, and at work we can print gold, metal, chocolate, carbon fibre, ceramic, rubber and nylon. That's pretty cool. There are 4 different ways to 3D print. There are about 5 in fact. One is more expensive for radioactive materials, as it has a chamber flush with aron gas, and you can 3D print individual atoms. That's so cool. Science is amazing. Science is amazing. Okay, we're probably going to finish off this bundle here, if you could even call it a bundle anymore. I need to try and make sure that I don't get the colours mixed up. I love my job access to the bleeding edge. That's cool. It's so cool. How often do they let you, or do they let you use the 3D printers to print stuff for yourself as like a perk? Or are you not meant to do that? Is that a thing where it's like, you shouldn't really be doing this? I hate the NDAs that come with it, that's fair. Oops, can't talk about that. Nope, can't talk about that. I can fully use them for home use if there's not something urgent. Sick. Sick. I'm curious what I'm just curious what like metal 3D prints are like, because with filament prints, obviously depending on the printer, but you can see the lines. And I know that with resin it can get a lot smoother, of like you don't you can't really see as many lines. I'm curious just how many lines, if you have any, you get when you're printing with metal. H's. This is the concentrate bit. You have to pay the material cost. That makes sense. Same with metal, and we print in metal dust. Let's take steel. I also know you can 3D print with wood, which I think is fascinating. For some reason I find that more interesting than metal. But I guess that's just because I'm a druid at heart, and I'm like, wow. Wood. K, H, K, H, H. 2 Ks. 2 Ks remain. We use dust that is swiped on a plate, then heated with a laser, and then the plate moves to the next layer, and so on. So it sounds a bit like how a filament printer works, in a way. Because it is all just layers at the end of the day. When it's done, you get the printer and clean it up a little. I've seen people print with soda bottles. Well, it's just plastic at the end of the day, cool. Sometimes I feel bad, like, asking my dad to 3D print stuff, but then I remember he's retired and he probably appreciates having little projects to work on. He's a creative person. That's probably where I get it from. He likes to make things. But he likes to make things, like, mechanically, rather than, like, artistically, like me. When it's done, you'll have lines and filament price gets down to 15 euros a kilogram. Okay. 3D printing is cool. Yeah. When we were in our, like, peak D&D time, me and Spook were talking about maybe getting a 3D printer so we could 3D print D&D minis, but now we don't play D&D IRL as much anymore, so I think that thought has kind of died a death now. Of like, we don't really have a use for a 3D printer now. Back when we played a lot of D&D, it was a cool idea, but now we don't play it as much IRL, as much as we'd love to change that. It's sad, because we've got, you know, after years of collecting, like, D&D books and dice, and we have already got a big stack of minis, and now they just sit in the living room and don't get used all that much, and we keep being like, we need to play D&D IRL more. It just doesn't happen. One singular K-strand. I bought a €50 printer and added 100 euros of automation upgrades to it, all my own design. Sick. Thing is with a 3D printer is that you don't need one until you have one, and then it's amazing. Yeah. That's how it is with my dad. It's kind of like an air fryer. Yeah. You can get by without it, but the moment you have one, you find uses for it. My dad 3D printed a new shower handle for the shower at their house. And I gave him the idea. So the shower, theirs is like a rotating thing, and it had a handle that went in like that, so you grabbed the handle and turned it. And this bit broke off, but it left the metal shaft in the screw hole. And I said to Dad, I was like, why don't you 3D print a new handle? And he was like, well, I can't get the thing out of the thing, because it broke off in there. And I literally had to explain to him how I envisioned it. I was like, no, 3D print a clamp to clamp around the ring, put like some plumber's tape on the inside to give it grip. 3D print a clamp, have like a little screw that you can tighten on one end, and a handle on the other. And I sketched it out for him of like what I was thinking, and that was when he went, oh, okay. And he 3D printed it, and now it works, and we can still use the shower, and we didn't have to get a plumber out to fix it. Yeah. Uh-oh. What colour is this? That's a K. This is a H. I bless the rains down in Africa. Why do I have this white strand? Go back in the bundle, please. Gotta go, man. I'll be back in a few minutes. See ya, Core. We only done 2 rows today because I hyper-focused on a totally different topic. Normally I do 3 rows. Look, you can see this. Hang on, let me see if I can bring this up. Hold my rear. It's so silly. That's so silly. Hold my rear. Oh my god, it's so dumb. I said this before. This is what you actually need AI for. If you scan that whole sentence, you'll understand what it's about. But if you scan 3 words, of course it's gonna flag. Scan the whole thing and establish context. That's what you should use AI for, not for stealing artwork.
On the horizon of this forest path, you see a group of dark cloaked figures slowly trudging towards you. What do you do?
My half-orc barbarian braces her great hammer, and that's a 1.
Do, do, do,
What do you
do.
do? Well, I believe in anticipation, my rogue would try and hide behind the tree. Okay, I rolled a 1. That's another critical fail. Tom, what does your human bard do?
Active perception check.
It's a natural 20.
Let's fucking go. Feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. These motherfuckers mean to harm us, and they got to go, so come and get it now. Fuck around with my tight crew, oh, oh. I can't perceive you. Me and my boys gonna mess you up.
I rolled a 1.
Fuck, my boys are otherwise engaged.
Hey, I forgot. You're supposed to tell me what I see, right? Yes.
It's funny that I actually mentioned D&D minis, because now I have this camera set up, my thought is once the rug is done, in like fucking 3 months at the goddamn rate that it's going, I might do mini painting. I like how I had to make the gesture as if you didn't know what I was referring to. Alright, I need another bundle. I need another bundle of the Ks. That's a H. That's a K. There we go.
It was so short because it was a child. There's always a kid, specifically the child you've been looking for the last 15 days game time and 5 days of our actual lives. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll be better. His body's just lying there, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Don't. Gonna loot that motherfucker. Bitch. And here we go. That's the last bit of this row. Done. There we go. Right. I think, because I didn't do it yesterday, because yesterday is triple stream day and I am on the air long enough, I think today I'm going to leave the stream live while I go for lunch and put the old word game on screen for you guys. We put all of these back in the box. Whap. Here it goes. Right. We're now in the third segment. We're not quite a quarter of the way there. This thing is exactly 100 rows, so when we get to... Oh no, we are past a quarter of the way there because we passed 25, so we're a quarter of the way there. Which is neat. That's pretty neat. Right. Let's put you in here. Wow. Okay. Right. It is 1 o'clock. I'm going to go have some lunch. I think I might go be healthy and go walk down the road. If I walk to the village square and back, that's like a nice sort of 20-minute-ish walk, depending on how fast I go. So go get some oxygen, stretch my legs, and all that jazz, since I spent 90% of yesterday sat down, and otherwise today I will also spend 90% of today sat down, because today is almost exactly the same, I just don't stream. Wednesday is morning stream, afternoon stream, D&D, and Thursday is morning stream, afternoon stream, D&D. I just don't stream the Thursday D&D, because sometimes it's nice to have things for yourself. So I might go do that. Let's put your word game up. When we come back, we're gonna be playing a game. Right, where is word game? Words. Stream. Should probably just bookmark that because I use it like twice a week. Copy the link. Right. Pause the music. Right, I will see you guys in a couple of hours for Final Fantasy, and we have just started Shadowbringers, so that's exciting. I will see you then. Have a good lunch. Bye.